पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. By the infinite grace of the Lord Krishna, we have so far studied 7 verses of the second chapter of the Bhagavadgita. Arjuna says in the 5th verse, in the 5th shloka, it is better for me to live on begging alms than to fight the war and kill the elders, teachers, etc. Because if I kill them, I will be enjoying the kingdom which is blood drenched by the blood. And also in the next verse, there is a state in his mind which is in confusion. He has confused state of mind. It is very much evident. He said, we do not know which is better, whether to beg on the alms or fight and win the war. I do not know. I also do not know which is better. It is getting defeated by the enemies or defeating them. Which is better? I do not know. But one thing is clear, he says. By killing whom we do not wish to live, these very people, the relatives, are standing in front of me on the opposite side of the battle as enemies. They are ready to kill me and we are ready to kill them. It is a very sad affair. It is truly very bad situation. In this verse number 7, he says, I am my svabhava, my real nature is vitiated, as if destroyed, crippled by karpanya dosha. So we have learnt karpanya means, in the ordinary sense, it is miserliness. But here, the karpanya, that means sense of pity, unable to distinguish what is right and what is wrong. In the Upanishad, in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Krupanata or the Karpanya means not understanding the real nature of the Atman. So my svabhava, I am a warrior, I am a soldier, I belong to the Kshatriya clan, my natural disposition is to fight the war. But svabhava, now it is crippled, as if it is destroyed by what is called a defect. The defect is called karpanya. That is a sense of pity which has overcome, which is overswaying my natural disposition. Therefore, Lord Krishna, I am asking you, pruchhami, dharma sammuda chetaha pruchhami. We already learnt what is called dharma. Dharma is a duty. What is to be done, kartavya, is the duty. That which is prescribed by the scriptures and which we have to abide, That is called the dharma. Dharma, what is dharma? What I have to do, what is right for me, I do not know. I am terribly confused. This is the meaning of the word dharma sammuda chetaha. Dharma sammuda chetaha tvam pruchhami. I am asking you, I am requesting you, please show me the proper way. Yashreyaha syan nishchitam bruhi tanme. What is right for me? What is good for me? Shreya is the ultimate good. So there are two goals prescribed by the Veda. One is the temporal goal, another is the ultimate goal. Temporal goal consists of the prosperity in this world and living happily in this world. That is not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is emancipation, complete freedom, moksha, understanding and realizing our own nature to be pure consciousness. That is real Shreyas. What is ultimately good for me? Please tell me. In certain terms, so there are two meanings which we discussed in the last class. Nishchitam Shreyaha. What is certain Shreya? What is certain good for me? Please tell me. Or what is good for me, you tell me with certainty. So the both meanings can be applied here. Now I have become your disciple. Shishyasteham. Because the old tradition, the Indian tradition, the Vedic tradition says, if a person is not a disciple, one should not teach him at all. Person should approach him with humility, with respect, and then only the teacher should teach him. That is the method to be followed. Now he agrees to be, Arjuna agrees to be a disciple of Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna and Arjuna were from boyhood, they were great friends. No longer they are friends now. That relationship is no longer there. Now the relationship is between a disciple and the shishya, and a disciple and the guru, the teacher. The Lord is not an ordinary teacher, as we discussed in the last class. He is the Jagat Guru, the teacher of the whole world. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. So, we also should submit to the Lord. We also should surrender to the Lord, as Arjuna has done to the Lord, so that we can imbibe the teachings of the Lord Krishna in the right spirit. The real meaning of the Lord's teaching we have to imbibe, we should try to understand. For that, our intellect has to be pure, our mind has to be pure, our body has to be pure. Purity is very important on the part of the disciple. To understand science, physics and chemistry, you don't need purity of mind. To understand the spiritual principles which is being taught in the Bhagavadgita, what we need is Chitta Shuddhi, Sattva Shuddhi is very much important. So only Lord Krishna can bestow us that purity of mind. So in order to have that purity of mind, we should totally surrender to him. That's what Arjuna is showing us. Arjuna is our representative. We should put ourselves in the place of Arjuna, each and every one of us. Shadhimam tvam prapannam. I have completely surrendered myself to you. Please teach me. So now we are going to read the last verse of Arjuna. Arjuna is completely surrendering himself to the Lord Krishna. And he says in the last verse of his, Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat yashoka muchoshanam indriyanam avapya bhumau asapatna mruddham Rajyam Suranamapi Chadipatyam. Nahi Prapashyami. Indeed, I don't see. So a shoka, a sorrow is tormenting me. I do not see what is that. What is the reason for that sorrow or the shoka, the tormentation which is troubling me? Indriyanam uchoshanam shokam. This is how we have to read it. My indriyas are being tormented. My senses are being tormented. My senses are being numbed as if I am not able to see properly. I am not able to hear properly. I am not able to talk properly. The whole bodily functions, the functions of the senses, as if they have weakened. There is a numbness in my senses, weakening of the senses. My shoka, my suffering is such an intense. We also observe when we are in intense suffering, the whole body as if become numb, tormented, totally, as if another one translator says, it is like blasting the senses. The senses have ceased to function. So I am being tormented by such a shoka. How I can remove that? Apanudyat. How I can get over that? I do not know. I do not know the way how I can overcome this intense grief. Because I have two options before me. One option is if I win the war, I will have the kingdom. Rajyam. Bhumau asapatnam vruddam rajyam. Rajya, the kingdom. The two qualifications are added to the rajya. One is ruddham, very prosperous, full of grains, full of wealth, that kind of rajya. And also atapatnam, without any enemies. The worry about the enemies, worry of the enemies always troubles a king. But once the war is over, there will be no enemies at all. All the enemies would be destroyed. So the kingdom which I am going to have after the war is bereft of any enemies, and also which will be very prosperous, ruddham. And also if I die in the war, what will happen? That is also a very good option for me. Suranamapi chadhipatyam. Even if I get the kingdom of the heavens, in the Swarga, Suranam, the heavenly kingdom, even Adhipatya. Adhipatya means ownership or the kingship of the heavens, of the Suras, in the Deva Loka. Both these, I don't think even if I get both of them, the kingdom in the earth or the kingdom in the heaven, even if I get any one of them, I don't think a way is out for me to get over this shoka. The shoka will not leave me. The suffering will not leave me. The kingdom in this earth will not get my shoka out. I will still be tormented by this shoka or the suffering. Even the kingdom in the heaven will not leave me without suffering. Still I will be suffering. I will continue to suffer. So this is the state of mind Arjuna expresses very effectively, very beautifully in these verses. Now what happens is Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya says, Eva muktva Hrishikesham Gudakeshaha Parantapa Nayotsya iti Govindam Uktva Tushnim Bhabhuvaha. Now again the Sanjaya's narration commences. So you should remember the Bhagavadgita starts with the utterance of the Dhritarashtra. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. Next we have the Sanjaya's narration. So Sanjaya comes in between and to tell the story when either Arjuna or Krishna is not speaking, Sanjaya comes to fill up the gap, to tell the stories. Sanjaya is the narrator. Eva muktva Hrishikesham. So this shloka is very wonderful shloka. It is very interesting if you observe. There are two qualifications or names to Arjuna as well as the Krishna. So Arjuna has got two names here, two epithets, two qualifications. One is the Gudakesha, another is Parantapa. What is Gudakesha? One who has conquered the sleep. You know, Arjuna trained himself hard to achieve excellence in the archery. He used to practice even in the right. He has conquered the sleep. That is why he is called the Gudakesha. And also he is called here Parantapa. Though now he is in a state of confusion, his basic instinct, his svabhava is to kill the enemies. He is the afflicter of the foes, the scorcher, as if he burns the enemies with his very strong arrows. The arrows are very strong, very powerful. They are ready to kill, not only kill, he burn the enemies. That is why he is called a Parantapa. So Arjuna's two qualifications are there in this sloka. We should observe Parantapa as well as the Gudakesha. He told like this. All these utterances by Arjuna, who is the Gudakesha as well as the Parantapa. This is the expression we have in the first line. Eva muktva Gudakeshaha Parantapaha. To whom? Krishikesham. So Krishna or the Lord Narayana, we don't make any difference between Lord Narayana and the Krishna here. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the full incarnation of the Lord Vishnu. So we have two qualifications, two names for the Krishna. One is Hrishikesham. This word has already appeared in the Gita. He is the controller of all the senses. He is the giver of energy of all the indriyas. He is the impeller of the organs. So we have philosophically, we can understand like this. Who is God? God is nothing but consciousness. So through consciousness, all our organs are working. The eyes see due to consciousness. The ears hear because of the consciousness. It is consciousness which is working in the body, through seeing, hearing, everything is an act of consciousness. That consciousness itself is the Lord Krishna. So he is the impeller of all organs. So Madhusudana Saraswati in his beautiful commentary puts like this: Sarvendriya Pravartakatvam. He is the instigator of all the organs. That means he knows what is going on inside the mind of everyone, because it is he who gives consciousness to even the mind. What is going on in the mind of Arjuna, the Lord knows. That is the meaning here. Hrishikesham. Next we have Govindam in the second line. Hrishikesham Govindam. Govinda here means, Go means Veda. Veda is ancient knowledge. As Swami Vivekananda puts it, the mass of knowledge which is in the world, whole world, is called the Veda. So Veda comes from the Lord. Veda comes from the Lord. The Lord is the originator, the source of all the knowledge. So in the Brahma Sutra we have Shastra Yonihi. Brahman or the Supreme Lord is called the Shastra Yonihi. The one meaning of that sutra is Kshatrasya Yoni. He is the source of all the knowledge. All knowledge has come from him. That means he is all knowing. Hrishikesha denotes omniscient, omnipresent, and Govinda denotes omniscient, and the Hrishikesha denotes omnipresent. God is all knowing as well as all powerful. These words indicate that. So, Hrishikesham Gudakeshaha Parantapaha Eva Muktva. Having said this, having uttered like this, at the last two words he speaks. So it contains the summary of his all utterings which we have heard so far. So in the first chapter also we have heard, and the second chapter also we have heard enough of the Arjuna's prattling, wailing, crying words. So last word, na yotsye, I am not going to fight. This is his final decision. So your child comes and says, I am not going to school today. Why? The child will give various reasons for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Lastly, it will say, I am not going to school, like this. So it is a childish behavior on the part of the Arjuna. So Arjuna says in the last, I am not fighting. Na yotsye iti govinda muktva. What have happened? Tushnim bhabovaha. He kept silent. He became silent. No more words. Whatever has to be spoken has been spoken by me. I am not going to speak anything now. O Lord, it is for you to make me understand what is right for me, what is good for me, what I have to do now, whether I have to fight the war or go away from the battlefield, what is good for me. I have put all my arguments, whatever I know, the ethics, philosophy, social science, everything I have told you. Now it is for you to decide, because as Arjuna has already submitted, Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. I have completely surrendered myself to you, and it is you, please teach me what I have to do. Then Sanjaya's narration continues here. Tamuvacha Hrishikeshaha Prahasanniva Bharata Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Vishidantamidam Vachaha. This verse also is a very interesting verse. Of course, when you study with diligence, very carefully, full of devotion, full of sincerity, shraddha, faith, every verse of Bhagavadgita is a wonderful shloka for us to meditate and contemplate. Tam uvacha, tam means who there? Arjuna. About him we have learned so much. Uvacha Hrishikeshaha. Once again the Hrishikesha word has been repeated here. That means the poet Vyasa is emphasizing the Lord here he is speaking is the indweller of all within the all beings. He is not just the Krishna who is in the flesh and bone form. He is not a human being at all. He is the indwelling spirit in all beings. It is he who knows everything about everyone, what is going on in everyone's mind. And that is the intention, perhaps, why Vyasa Maharshi again repeats the same word, Hrishikesh. He has already used it in the previous word. Again he has used the word. So perhaps this is to emphasize the indwelling nature of the Lord Krishna as the Supreme Spirit and one who knows everything what is going on in one's mind. Krishna is again repeatedly indicated here as the Hrishikesha. Tamuvacha Hrishikeshaha. So here Bharata is used. This word comes quite often in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna addresses Arjuna as Bharata. one who belongs to Bharata class, because one of the ancestors, great king, was a Bharata. Bharata was a great king who had happened to have come in that lineage, who have appeared in that lineage, born in this lineage, Vamsha. That's why this clan is called the Bharata clan. So Dhritarashtra is also a Bharata, Arjuna is also a Bharata. Now Sanjaya is addressing Dhritarashtra as Bharata. That means he is Arjuna, Dhritarashtra, one who is born in the Bharata clan. Bharata clan. And when Krishna addresses Arjuna Bharata, he is also born in the Bharata clan only. Clan belongs to clan where the Bharata was a great king. So Bharata word, please remember this word. Again and again we come across this word, Bharata. Bharata means, O Dhritarashtra. What happened? Tamuvacha Hrishikesha. Tam means to him, Arjuna, Hrishikesha told. Where he told? Who is that Tam? Tam means him, Arjuna. What was the state of Arjuna? Everybody knows. Vishidantam. Full of sorrow, full of grief, full of suffering. We know, we have already diagnosed him thoroughly, psychologically. We know the dimensions of suffering. No more Arjuna suffering now. Now we have come to a stage, we have left Arjuna to his suffering. Now we are here to hear what Krishna says, isn't it? So, Vishidantam tam. He is suffering, Arjuna, one who is in great trouble, in grave grief. Tam Hrishikesha Uvacha says. Where he says, that is also important. Senayoho Ubhayoho Madhe. You see, the Senayoho Ubhayoho has already appeared 1 or 2 times. Between 2 armies. We have to picturize the scene now. 2 great armies of the ancient India. Perhaps all the kingdoms, all people belonging to royal clans have assembled there, thousands of people, and elephants, horses, and ordinary soldiers, warriors, kings, everyone is there. The cream of society is there in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So, Sena, Ubhayoho, Senayoho Madhya, between the 2 armies. And Krishna, Prahasanniva Uvacha, this is the point of contention. As if he is mocking Arjuna, smiles at Arjuna. Somebody is very seriously talking with you, with all earnestness, sincerity, you just smile at him. What it signifies? What you are saying so far, what you have told so far is stupid. You are an ignorant person. As if Krishna is shaming him, putting him into shame, mocking him, drowning him in a state of shame, as if apparently it signifies like that. Apparently we understand Krishna is shaming Arjuna. But is it really so? Because Krishna is a very compassionate person. He is Jagadguru, the teacher of the whole world. How can he even have the intention to put Arjuna into a shameful situation? Arjuna is very dear to him. It cannot be so. Then why he is smiling? This is very, very important thing to understand. Krishna is showing him, O Lord, O Arjuna, all your arguments are of no value at all. You are uttering them because you don't have discrimination or discernment. What is good, what is bad, what is real and what is not real. You do not know. You are speaking like a wise man, but you are not a wise man. All your actions or utterances are of a foolish person, ignorant person. In order to indicate before even he starts speaking, Krishna is smiling. This is the explanation by Madhusudana Saraswati. So anyway, Prahasanniva Bharata Tam Uvacha, he starts speaking. So now we have the Gita proper has commenced now. According to Shankaracharya, Gita starts from this shloka because the great Shankaracharya commences his commentary from this shloka onwards. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So before we go into the shloka, we have to understand the circumstances. We have to understand the significance of the Gita's teaching as described, advocated by Shankaracharya. There are 2-3 points which we must understand, because otherwise we will lose sight of the significance of Krishna's words that we are going to study after some time, after some minutes. First of all, Shoka and Moha, these are the two afflictions of the Arjuna. Shoka means sorrow, Moha means delusion. And the Shoka and sorrow and the Moha, the delusion, these two are said to be the sources of samsara, the transmigratory existence. Of course, the Shoka and Moha have their sources in avidya. So the ignorance of one's own nature, and through that ignorance or avidya, we have what is called the Shoka and Moha. Shoka means sorrow, Moha means delusion. And these are the two defects. And what is the reason for it? Why we are suffering? Why we are deluded? So we have to understand the cause of our Shoka and Moha. So if you go to a doctor will diagnose the source or the cause of your suffering or the disease. Then only he would be able to give the medicine for it. The root cause of your suffering, root cause of our disease has to be diagnosed. So what Krishna is doing now is to diagnose the cause of the suffering and delusion of Arjuna. This is the first point. So what is the dosha here is, Arjuna has developed two kinds of delusions. What are the two kinds of? I belong to these enemies. I belong to Bhishma. I belong to Drona. I belong to all these people. And the second type is, they belong to me. I belong to them and they belong to them. So this is nothing but an illusion, because we are all Atman. As bodies, we may belong to someone and they may belong to me. But as Atman is one and the same in all the bodies. So our understanding of our nature as body and mind complex is but an illusion. Due to illusion, we will have what is called Shoka and Moha. That's what happened to Arjuna. That's why when the people dear to me are separated, got separated, we feel sorrow. We feel deluded, Shoka and Moha. That's what happened to Arjuna. And what happens is, due to the Shoka and Moha, we will lose the understanding capacity. And Shankaracharya puts it, Shoka Mohabhyam Abhibhuta Viveka Vijnanaha. So what is my duty? What I have to do? All this correct knowledge becomes deluded, as if overpowered by the wrong knowledge. Right knowledge is covered by the wrong knowledge. That's what happened in the case of Arjuna. That's why he ran away from the fighting. Yuddhat upararama. So he didn't want to fight the war. It is his swadharma. It is his duty to fight. So his swadharma tyaga he has done. He did not want to engage in swadharma, but he wanted to do some other's dharma. That is bhikshatana or begging alms. Begging alms is prescribed for the sannyasi, not for the kshatriyas. So this is what happens when the right knowledge is clouded or covered by the wrong knowledge. Swadharma pratityaga prashisiddha seva. He gives up one's own duty and takes up the wrong duty which is prescribed for some other people. But even then some people who are engaged in swadharma, suppose we are doing our duty, but our sense of duty is that we always hankering for phala or the results of the work. We are doing work from our body, mind, etc., but we always hanker for the result. Palapi sandhi purvika, that is also a cause of our suffering. Because when we hanker for the result, that means we are doing every action with the sense of egotism, ahankara. Always our ahankara dilutes it. Ahankara makes us to crave for the results of the work. What is ahankara? Wrong identification. Thinking body and mind to be our real nature is what is called ahankara. This is ahankara which makes us suffer in this world. So when we go on doing the work, we accumulate punya and apunya. We do dharma and adharma, good actions or the evil action. By continually doing good actions, we accumulate punya. By continually doing the bad actions, we accumulate what is called adharma. That means our mind, our samskaras are full of good tendencies as well as the bad tendencies. Through the power of the dharma, we get good birth. Through the power of adharma, we get the bad birth, evil birth. Ishta anishta janma. So in the good birth, we enjoy happiness, so-called happiness, apparent happiness. In the evil birth, like animals, plants, etc., we suffer. So all these due to shoka moha. Shoka moha leads us to work with intention of getting something, results, phala, that will make us suffer, going from one birth to another. That's why the conclusion of this argument is shoka mohau samsara bija bhutau. Shoka moha is the causes of the samsara. Samsara means the transmigration, going from one body to another, and what that prompts us to go from one body to another means dharma and adharma. We do dharma and adharma propelled by the desire for results, and that is due to shoka and the moha. And how to destroy this samsara? How to put an end to this transcrimination from one body to another? Atmajnana tu nanyataha nivrittihi. Atmajnana is what is wanted. You see here, Shankaracharya puts Bhagavadgita in the place of Upanishad. He makes no difference between Upanishads and the Bhagavad-Gita. In Upanishads, the central goal is Atmajnana. In the Bhagavad-Gita also, the central goal of the teaching of Lord Krishna is Atmajnana. Atmajnana to nanyataha nivrittihi. It is Atmajnana that alone takes us beyond this transmigration, remove the transmigration, make us cut asunder the cycle of transmutation. So in order to teach this teaching, in order to teach this great teaching to the whole world, Krishna teaches, Krishna commences what is called the Bhagavadgita. Sarva loka anugrahartam, this is very important. Here he is not only bestowing grace upon Arjuna by his teaching, he is bestowing grace on the whole humanity by teaching the Atma Jnana. So the Atma Jnana is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. So the Lord commences his teaching with the words Ashocyan Anvashochaha. This is what we read in the 11th verse of the Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna has immersed himself in what is called the ocean of the sorrow. Mahati shoka sagare nimagnaha. As he himself has confessed, he is dharma chammuda cheta. He didn't know what to do, what is right conduct and what is bad conduct. So what is dharma? What is that through which we can realize the Atma Jnana, which is the only panacea for the sufferings we are undergoing. And this is the central message of the Bhagavad Gita according to Shankaracharya. So there is no way other than Atma Jnana. Therefore Krishna teaches, Bhagavan Vasudeva teaches Atma Jnana. That Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. This is what Shankaracharya says in his prologue to the 11th sloka. So in this short summary, in his short essay, he recapitulates all the significance, the whole significance of the Arjuna Vishada. So far we have studied almost 12 classes. Arjuna Vishada only we are studying. The whole essence of Arjuna Vishada is the man is under sorrow and delusion. That is due to the lack of Atma Jnana. Atma Jnana is being taught by Lord Krishna through the Bhagavad Gita. So this is what is called the Sambandha Bhashya, the relationship between the earlier part of the text and what we are going to study now. We are going to study now the Krishna's teachings. What we have so far studied is Arjuna's Vishada. What is the connection between Arjuna Vishada and Krishna's teaching? The Bhagavan Shankaracharya has beautifully brought out this connection. This is how we have to approach the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is Brahma Vidya. Bhagavad Gita is Atma Jnana. Only through this Atma Jnana, which is the essence of the teachings of the Lord Krishna, we can overcome the delusion and the sorrow which is caused by the ignorance of our own real near nature as Atman. And this is the introduction to the 11th sloka by Adi Shankara. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashocyan Anvashochaha Tvam Prajnavadamscha Bhashase Gatasu Nagatasumscha Nanupashanti Panditaha. Ashocyan Anvashochaha Tvam. So these verses contain 2 or 3 sentences. We have to divide this verse into 2-3 sentences. Tvam Ashocyan Anvashochaha. This is the first idea. Who are all Ashocyaha? Ashocyaha means to whom you are not supposed to be grieved for. You need not worry about them at all. There is no cause of worry about Bhishma, Drona, etc. And you are worrying about their death. You are thinking they are going to be dying. And this Bhishma and Drona are the Ashocyaha here. So they are not worthy to be worried about. You need not suffer because they are going to die. Ashocyaha. About them you are grieving. Shocyaha tvam. Ashocyaha anvashocyaha tvam. Those who should not be mourned for, you are mourning. This is the idea. But still you are speaking like a wise man. Prajnavadamscha bhashase. Prajnavada means what? Pandita. Prajnavada means the arguments put forward by the wise men, the enlightened people. It is called the Prajnavada, the words of the wise men. So your speech is like the words of the wise men. Prajnavadamscha bhashase. So here there is a kind of confusion here. Those who are not to be grieved for, you are grieving for. That is the first statement. And you are speaking like a wise man. So we do not understand why Arjuna, Krishna is telling so. There should be a cause, there should be a reason for it. The reason is spelled out in the second line of the earth. Because we have to add something here. So let me repeat it again. You are mourning, you are bemoaning for those who are not to be bemoaned. You are suffering or you are very much worried about those who are not worthy to be worried about. This is first idea. And you are speaking the words of the wise man. Why? You are not a wise man, you are only speaking the words of the wise man. Suppose a child is speaking philosophy, high philosophy, what do you say? You are just a child, you should not speak like that. You are speaking big things, we say. So, in the eyes of Krishna, Arjuna is a small child, an ignorant child. Why? What is the reason? The reason is spelled out in the second line. Gatasun akatasumscha nanushocanti panditaha. So in the first line, prajnavada is used, the wise man. Here the second word, the panditaha is used. Those two words have same connotation, same meaning. Panditaha means, as Adi Shankara describes, Panda means Atma Vishaya Buddhihi Yesham Te Panditaha. Atma Vishaya Buddhihi. The Atma Jnana, the Buddhi or intellect established in Atman. One who has that kind of intellect is called the Pandita. Another very interesting fact, as Shankaracharya points out, is here you are grieving for those who are not to be grieved for. It is a sign of an ignorant person. At the same time, you are speaking like a wise man. So, the contradictory qualities at the same time you are exhibiting. Suppose somebody is exhibiting contradictory qualities in them, what we call them? He is a foolish person. You are suffering, you are very much worried, but you are speaking like a wise man. That is contradictory. Maudhyam pandityam cha viruddham atmani darshayati. That's what Shankara puts like. Maudhya means foolishness. Panditya means wisdom. They are contradictory qualities. They are opposite qualities. You are exhibiting both of them at the same time. Only a foolish person, a mad person can be like this. Either you are a foolish person or a mad person. The reason is Panditaha, that means the wise people, the knower of Atman, na anushocanti. They will never grieve for. They will never worry for. Gatasun agatasumcha. Gatasun means whose life has already departed from the body. They are called Gatasun. Asu means prana, life. The life has departed from the body. They are called the Gatasun. Agatasun means we are all Agatasun. Our life has not yet departed from the body. After some years, our life also will be departed from the body. So we need not worry about anybody. There are only two classifications. No? One who are with life, one who are dead. Living and the dead. We need not worry about living. We need not worry about the dead. What Arjuna was doing, Arjuna was very much about the Bhishma and Drona. Arjuna worried because I am going to kill them and I will be the cause for their killing. You need not worry about them. Agatasun, Gatasun. Oh, they belong to me, I belong to them. All these ideas, all these all these what you call prattling, or the crying, weeping of Arjuna. You need not worry them. Whether they continue to live, if they are continue to live, you need not worry about them. If they are going to die after some time, you need not worry about them. And what about you should worry about? There is nothing you should be worried about, nothing you should be grieved about. So there is no cause for your grief at all. A great lesson indeed for the whole humanity. Our suffering, our grief has no reason, no basis at all. Our suffering is due to our delusion, our ignorance, that's all. Suffering has no basis at all. We are just suffering for those things which we should not be worried about at all. No cause of worry. Nothing to worry, Krishna says in plain words, nothing to worry about. Everything is all right. You need not suffer. That's what Krishna is telling to us, every one of us. Because this Bhishma and Drona are still living, you need not worry about them. So, oh no, they are going to die, they will die. Anyway, they are going to die after 30, 40 years. If not now, you are not going to kill them, isn't it? Don't worry. After 40 years, they are going to die anyway. Or even if you kill them, do you think they are going to die? They are not going to die. Their real nature is Atma. They are eternal. Bhishma is eternal. I am eternal. You are eternal. Everyone is eternal Atmans. So there is nothing to grieve for. This is what Krishna is conveying to Arjuna. That he makes it explicit, more elucidates the argument of the first 11th shloka in the 12th shloka. He makes it more clear it. Natvevaham jatunasaha nasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaiva nabhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. As far as reading purpose, it is a very little bit tricky shloka, so we have to be extremely careful when we divide the words and try to understand this. Natu eva aham jatu nasam. This is the first idea. Na aham jatu natu asam iti na eva. So it is very confusing for us. I will put you in the plain English word. There is no circumstance in which I will cease to exist. That is the idea. There will not come a time when I cease to exist. There will be never a time where you can say, oh, Krishna has not existed at all. Krishna always exists. This is the idea. I am not going into intricacies of the words here because they are really difficult. That means I am always be there. I was in the past, I am in the present and I will continue to be there in the future also. There will never come a time when I cease to exist. This is the declaration of Krishna. You may ask, oh Lord Krishna, you are Paramatma. You will always be there. What about us? Again, the second idea. Natvam, you also. There will never come a time when you do not exist. You always exist. You existed in the past. You are existing now. You will continue to exist in the future also. There was never a time you did not exist. There will never a time you will cease to exist. That's all. You are eternal. Simply putting, I am eternal, you are eternal. I am always there, you are always there. And what about these Bhishma and Drona and other kings? Ne me janadipaha, na ime janadipaha. All these kings, including the warriors, soldiers, maybe you can include elephants, horses also. Everyone here, the whole humanity, all the animals, all the creatures, everyone, all entities, living and non-living entities, everything should be included here. They always exist. There was never a time when they were not exist, then there will be never a time which will come where they do not exist. They always exist. They are eternal. So there are three ideas. What are the three ideas? I always exist, I am eternal. You always exist, O Arjuna, you are eternal. All these kings, all the entities in the world always exist. They are always exist. Nachaiva na bhavishyamaha. There will never come a time where we cease to exist in the future. Nachaiva na bhavishyamaha. That means any kind of destruction in the past, the present and the future is completely rejected by Lord Krishna. Every entity, all of us exist. All of us existed in the past, all of us are existing now, and all of us are going to exist in the future also. We are all eternal. I am eternal, the Lord Supreme, Purushottama, Paramatma, eternal. And you, the Jiva, individual soul, you also did exist in the past, continue to exist in the future. You are also an eternal being. I am an eternal being, you are eternal being, all these kings are eternal beings, every one of us, all of us are eternal beings. Nachaiva na bhavishyamaha. There will never come a time when we cease to exist. Atah param, in the future, after this. Atah param means after this. Atah param. There will never, hereafter, all of us shall not exist. All of us shall not exist. There will never come a time where one can say we do not exist. All of us will continue to exist hereafter also. Sarve vayam, all of us. This is very important. All of us includes animals, all of us includes non-living entities, all of us includes the whole world, whole universe. Everything includes. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. The Lord Paramatma is eternal. All the living beings are eternal. The whole world is eternal in God, because in reality the whole universe is nothing but God. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Then Arjuna may say, These are all high philosophical doctrines. But I am suffering now. I am suffering. I suffer from the individual loss. Philosophy will not help me at all. I am suffering. My elders are no longer be with me. They are going to disappear. They are going to be killed. How can I overcome that grief? How can I overcome that grief? Then Krishna says, you were a child at a point of time, 30 or 40 years back. Now you are a young man or adult. Are you grieving? Your old body has died now. You are no longer, that body is there. A new body you have acquired. Are you suffering? Are you very much worried? No, you are not worried. You are the same person who had the child's body as well as the same person who is having now the adult's body, isn't it? In the same way, it is you are going to get a new body after the death. First you were a child, then you become a young man, then you become an old man, and you die, so-called death. What is death? Death is only for the body. In the same way, you will get a new body. When you transform yourself from child to the young man, you have got a new body. From child to old age, you have got a new body. And you died, you will get a new body. So new body, one transforming, going from old body to the new body. Why are you worrying? This is the most simple way of putting the Krishna's teaching in the modern perspective. So we shall continue next week. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.